Good morning. This is a letter to the Board of Directors of LIAT. It may be a waste of time, but it's something, and I felt I had to do something. Dear Directors, heads must roll. I respectfully ask you, on behalf of the people of the Caribbean and the people that visit the Caribbean, and especially on behalf of the people of Dominica who depend on LIAT for their travel and also for their tourism industry, to enforce significant change in the executive ranks at LIAT. This request is being made first because of 8+ weeks of disastrous customer service which continues to this day due to lack of foresight and planning on the part of LIAT's executives, and second, because of LIAT's disastrous public relations, which has revealed the depth of your executives' indifference to your customers. It is your duty to hold your executives accountable for their actions and performance. Disastrous service. There has been a complete breakdown in service for over 2 months now, which I and most persons traveling LIAT have experienced. Here is a list of incidents. Now there are several, and I'm just going to mention a few. August 7th, flight 726, 2 hours late. August 4th, flight 565, flight cancelled. August 4th, flight 523, 11 hours late. August 3rd, flight 310, 11 hours late. July 23rd, flight 364, 8 hours late. July 19th, flight 362, 8 hours late. July 13th, flight 563, 4 hours late. July 20th, flight 561, 4 hours late. July 21st, flight 512, flight cancelled for 3 successive days. It took the group of 4 persons 4 days to get to Dominica. June 15th, flight 509, flight rerouted, rescheduled twice, 2 overnights, 3 days to get to Dominica. 18 incidents in less than 8 weeks related to one island and connected to one person, me. The affected passengers include me and those known to me, and none of these are related to Tropical Storm Chantal or bad weather. LIAT introduced the new ATR aircraft in early July. Your executives were well aware that pilots operating the new ATRs could not also operate the Dash 8. LIAT also knew that before the ATRs began operating, pilots would have to be taken offline for training. LIAT also returned Dash 8s that were on lease before the ATRs were operational. LIAT went into their peak summer season with the implementation of new aircraft and with the full knowledge of what they were doing and of the risks involved. There were no contingency plans and everything fell apart. The result is too few pilots and too few aircraft to adequately meet the demand and cover the routes. The results have been a disaster for the region and especially for Dominica. 68% of our arrivals by air are on LIAT. The inability to properly plan such a major event and to put the airline and its employees and especially its customers through such chaos, further damaging the reputation of LIAT and that of the tourism industry which it serves, is, to my mind, gross negligence. Who pays for the damage done to each customer and for the damage done to Dominica and its tourism industry and to the region? Who is accountable? Do you believe a visitor traveling to the region for a hard-earned vacation can separate LIAT's disastrous service from the rest of their experience? Do you think they will return or encourage others to return? So many that work so hard to bring visitors to our region and to our island cannot and should not continue to pay the price for the incompetence and actions of your executives. Disastrous public relations. Your CEO has gone on record only once, as far as I can see, explaining the crisis as follows. An increase in unscheduled maintenance at a time when our schedule calls for maximum aircraft availability, crew shortages, bad weather, airport limitations, and delays in obtaining licenses for operating our new ATR aircraft in some territories. Your chairman is focused on maintenance issues, with the old Dash 8s being the heart of the problem. This is only part of the truth. Poor planning and implementation is the crux of the matter. It is a great disservice to your ultimate shareholders, the people of the Caribbean, to not deal with the crisis truthfully and clearly and to ensure swift corrective action. Who is accountable? In the most baffling public relations event that I've ever witnessed, your chief commercial officer responded via a YouTube video to a customer complaint letter that was publicized by Richard Branson. Your executive said that LIAT is second only to Virgin to receive the funniest complaint letter ever written, and challenged Branson to a race to Necker Island, saying that the loser can wipe the other airline's tail, or Branson can dress up as a flight attendant on LIAT. This is your top marketing, commercial, and PR executive, the face of your organization, the depth of your indifference to what customers suffer, and for me, the lowest point in my perception of what LIAT stands for. Who is accountable? Your customer-facing staff, who through this crisis have had to work incredible hours and deal with an unimaginable number of irate clients, are clueless as to what is happening operationally on a day-to-day basis. They are typically unable to answer customer questions as to when or if a scheduled flight will arrive or depart. Your customer-facing staff are your public relations linked to your clients, and your best hope of lifting clients up in their moment of despair. Yet your executives give them no information and no tools to manage your most important asset, your customers, through this crisis. Who is accountable? In closing, a friend once said to me that the secret to a stress-free life is simply to lower your expectations. That way, you are never disappointed. I didn't have to lower them. LIAT's service to me and several people connected to me did that for me. LIAT did it consistently, dependably, and ruthlessly. Through a crisis like this, LIAT could have recovered, at least to some extent, the understanding and the trust of its customers. Through clear, honest, and appropriate communication and public relations, followed with decisive action, all of which would have demonstrated that LIAT cares, that you care. But do you care? Do you care about LIAT's customers who get on and off its planes every day? Do you care about the disruption to their personal and professional lives caused by LIAT's incompetence and indifference? Do you care about the damage LIAT's poor service and reputation does to the fragile economies of island states like Dominica, so dependent on tourism and the airline service? Do you care that your customers are not getting what they pay for? Do you care that your customers do not travel LIAT by choice, but because they have no other choice? Caring for your customers is the first step, the reason for existence of a business. It's time to care. It's time for change. Heads must roll. Respectfully yours, Gregor Nassif, owner, director of Secret Bay, executive chairman of the Fort Young Hotel, citizen of Dominica, frustrated and extremely exhausted client of LIAT. I ask all these viewing this to join me in calling for an executive shake-up at LIAT. Thank you.